Daniel, how are you?
Hello, Ryle.
How are
I'm good,
you?
thank you. How about
Yeah,
you?
very good, very good. I feel like
I'm good.
I,
I'm
f-
good, thank
I
you.
feel like I have not seen you in a while.
Yes, it has been 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes. How's everything going? How's work?
It's everything is going good, thank you.
Very good.
I have to, I had to cancel the last class because I had a work session
Right.
very early.
Yes. Very
So
early. Wow.
yes, it was very difficult to
Yeah.
attend.
So just to confirm, we are having class on Thursday as well, correct? Thursday,
Yes,
same time?
please.
Absolutely. Yes, I will plan on that. Very good. Okay. So today let's start by talking about the text that you sent me. I just want to make sure you understand
Yes.
this. I replied to your text, but I also wrote it here. So with if and whether, if you're using if, excuse me, if you're using whether, you want to only use whether when you're talking about choices,
Choices. Okay.
right? Okay, so please confirm if this backup is running. So that's not a choice between two things. So you would use if, right?
Okay.
But please
Okay.
confirm whether or not this backup is running. So if you use whether, you want to have a choice between two things, whether yes or no, right?
Okay.
And not, please confirm whether this backup is running. You
That's
understand?
absolutely wrong. Correct?
Exactly. Don't, it's not absolutely wrong, but there is a better choice. If is the better choice, unless you are choosing between two things, then use whether or not.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
let's try this out just to make sure that you understand. So fill in with whether, if, or whether or not for these
Okay.
two sentences. I don't know blank. I should eat a hamburger for lunch.
I don't know if I should eat a hamburger for lunch.
Perfect. Yes, because it's not two things that you're choosing between. It's only one thing, right? So
Uh-huh.
next one, I don't know blank. I should have a hamburger or pizza for lunch.
I don't know whether if I should have a hamburger or pizza for lunch.
So not I don't know whether if, just I don't know whether.
Whether.
Mhm. Very
Should,
good.
can I say, I don't know if I should have hamburger or pizza for lunch?
Absolutely. Yes, you can. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But for whether, you only want to use whether if you're choosing between two things. If you're only talking about one thing, then you want to have whether or not.
I don't know whether or not. Okay.
Do you understand the difference?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Okay, great. So I just wanted to make sure you understood that. So today we're going to talk about translating, okay?
Oh,
Specifically Google Translate. And I'm going to try
yes.
something I've never tried with a student before, and we'll see how it goes, but we'll do that at the end.
Uh, I have to say that I use Google Translate every day.
Do you really? Okay, that's great to
Yes.
hear
Yeah.
because I'm going to ask your opinion on that in the class. So I
But
want to get your opinion.
about now that you are saying, I am not sure if it is a good practice.
Well, we'll see. We can talk about that as well.
Because
I use
I think that sometimes this Google Translator doesn't translate it very well.
it doesn't translate it very well, or the information that you give it gets
It's not
lost in,
enough.
it's called lost in translation. That's our first idiom today, is lost in
Okay.
translation. We say this when something fails to have the same meaning when translated into another language. So you say
Okay.
something and then you translate it and it doesn't make sense when you translate it, right?
Okay, before moving to this topic, Riley, I just want to make sure that I fully understood this thing of the if and whether.
Sure.
I can say that maybe can I use if for when we don't have options and when we have options, right?
So give me examples. What do you mean?
I mean that if you go back to the original sentence, the second sentence, I don't know, I should have a hamburger or a pizza.
I don't know if I should have a hamburger or a pizza. Yes, you can use that. You can. So I don't know if
blank. Exactly. If
I don't know if I should have a hamburger. You can say that, or you can say I don't know if I should have a hamburger or a pizza. So that works. You can use if or whether in this situation.
Okay.
Right.
Here, the only thing that I need to be focused is if is with weather. Whether I use the weather just when we have options.
Two choices, yes.
And that's
all. If you make a mistake, if you say, I don't know whether I should have a hamburger, it's not a big mistake.
Okay.
Right? We still understand what you are asking yourself.
Okay.
Right? It's just a preference. It's better to say if it's one choice and whether or not if it's two choices. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And for two choices, in your case, Ryle, what is the word that you use the most?
For everyday speech, I use if I'm talking about one, and occasionally I use whether when I'm talking about two. When I'm writing, I will use whether because it sounds a little more formal.
Okay.
I'll use if when I'm just talking to friends. I don't know if I should have a hamburger or not. But if it's for instance, a work email, I would say, I'm not sure whether we should pursue this customer or not. Right.
Understood.
It's a little more formal. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to try something a little different with the idioms. So these are Mexican idioms from what I've heard. I don't know.
Yes.
I do not know these idioms. I don't know what they mean. I don't know the translation. I made sure that I have no idea. So today you're going to teach me some idioms. You're going to translate them and explain them to me. So the first one is, I will try to pronounce this.
Yes.
Ser pan comido.
Ser pan comido.
Ser pan comido. Okay, what is the literal translation of this?
Literal translation is when you have a piece of bread and you eat bread, eating the bread.
Eating the bread, eating the bread. So this is the literal translation. I have no idea what that means though. What does that mean?
But what we want to say with this idiom is piece of cake.
It's very easy. It's piece of cake.
It's very easy. It's a piece of cake.
Great.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Perfect. Okay, that's awesome. I'm learning some new idioms. I'm going to try to use them in English now. All right. Ponerse de mala leche.
Okay. Ponerse de mala leche.
What's the literal translation of this?
It means when the milk has been when the milk has been outside of the fridge for a long time.
So the milk is sour.
Exactly. The milk is
the milk, or you could say the milk has gone sour.
Exactly. The milk has gone sour. Exactly.
Okay. What's this mean?
And this means that you have bad attitudes with your friends.
Ah. We actually, in English, our idiom is sour grapes.
Sour grapes. Okay.
Yes, we have
Yes.
sour grapes, means bad
Exactly.
relationship with our friends. Very cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I will try to pronounce this. It's not going to be pretty. Dar calabazas alguien.
Alguien. Dar
Alguien.
calabazas. Dar calabazas.
Dar calabazas. Dar calabazas alguien.
Alguien is correctly.
Alguien. Okay.
Correctly.
What is this? The literal translation.
To be honest, oh, okay. The literal translation is giving pumpkins to someone.
Giving pumpkins to someone. Okay.
Pumpkins are these things that we use in the Halloween, right?
The big
They are orange.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So giving pumpkins to someone. What does that mean?
And to be honest with you, Kyle, I haven't heard this idiom.
Oh, really?
In practice, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do some research and find out what that one means then.
Yes.
Okay. Last one. Ser un melón.
Ser un melón. It means to be a melon.
To be a melon. What
melon,
does
yes.
that
mean? This fruit, you know.
Yeah, I know melons.
Now, I think that this can be that you are very, for example, when you are a teacher in a classroom and you are not very strict.
Not strict.
Exactly.
Ah.
You know, okay. all your students.
So you can say, "Oh, that teacher's a melon. He's easy."
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
I like that.
I think so. Yes.
Would you consider me a melon teacher?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, very difficult teacher because the idioms that you teach they are very difficult.
Yes, they
yes,
are.
It's a challenge.
Good. That's what I'd like to hear. I don't want to be a melon teacher. All right. So now I'm going to have you read 2 paragraphs. This is about Google Translate. Let me know if there are any words that you are not familiar with, and I will check for pronunciation as well. Okay?
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Google Translate has added 24 languages to its translation service, bringing the total number to 133. For many of us, Translate is an indispensable tool. It provides a convenient, accurate, and quick way of comprehending vocabulary and texts in other languages. The 24 new languages are spoken by more than 300 million people worldwide. Among them are the indigenous Aymara, Guarani, and Quechua languages of the Americas. Google rolled out its first translation service in 2006 and has continually added to its repository. Google said it still has a way to go to be more comprehensive. There are around 7,000 languages worldwide that Translate doesn't provide support for.
Very good. Okay, just a few words I want to cover pronunciation. The first one is accurate. Accurate. So
accurate.
Perfect. Yes, accurate.
And I said accurate.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So accurate is not correct. It's accurate.
So listen for the Q. Accurate.
Accurate.
Perfect.
Accurate. Okay.
All right. The next one is indigenous. Indigenous.
Indigenous.
Indigenous.
Indigenous.
Perfect. Yes. Indigenous. Okay. And indigenous means native to the place.
Native. Yes.
Right. Okay. And last one, we've covered this one before. I just want to make sure. The word is first. First. Yes.
First.
You sometimes say first, right? It's first.
First. So I think that sometimes I said first.
That's right.
First.
First. Perfect. Yes.
But is it first?
Yes,
first.
Exactly. But sometimes you say first.
Yes.
Yeah. So first. Very good.
First.
All right. Were there any words in here that you did not know or want to know in this first paragraph?
No, I think I know all these words.
Perfect. Okay. Next paragraph.
Translate needs to analyze a large range of linguistic data to be able to support a language. Isaac Caswell, a Google Translate scientist, told journalists about how advances in technology have facilitated adding the new languages. He said, up until a couple of years ago, it simply was not technologically possible to add languages like this, which are what we call a low resource, meaning that there are not very many text resources out there for them. He explained that Google aspires to support languages used by large populations. One of these is Lingala, spoken by 45 million people across Central Africa. It also wants to render assistance for indigenous languages that are often overlooked by technology.
Very good. And really good job reading the verbs with ed at the end also.
I have been practicing.
I can tell. Yeah, you're doing
thank you.
really
Thank you.
well.
That was a very good lesson.
Yeah, I'm so glad. And it's definitely helping because you're reading those perfectly. You only had one word that I wanted to point out in this, and that is resource. Resource. Resource.
Okay.
Okay. Were there any words that you did not know here?
Resource. No. How did I say resource? Resource?
You said resources correctly, but something you were struggling with the word resource. It was not coming out of your mouth very clearly.
Resource. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So now, do you want to read it again silently for comprehension? Please read it and just let me know when you're done.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you some questions about this article. So first of all, how many languages are now on Google Translate?
133.
133, exactly. How many people speak the languages recently added to Translate?
300 million.
300 million? That's exactly right.
300 million.
All right. How many indigenous languages of the Americas were mentioned?
I think 4.
Let me make sure.
Aymara, Guarani. No, they are 3. Aymara, Guarani, and Quechua.
Exactly, 3. All right. When did Google Translate start?
2006.
2006. All right. How many languages does Google Translate not translate?
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Does not translate. Oh, 7,000 languages.
7,000.
That's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
Is that crazy?
Yeah. And what does Google need to support a language?
What does Google need to support a language? I think that they need to study some texts.
Exactly. Yes, they need texts in order to study a language. And what has facilitated the addition of the new languages?
I don't know.
So it's going to be in the second sentence, second paragraph.
So, okay. Advances in technology.
Advances in technology, exactly.
Technology.
And what do low resource languages not have many of?
What do low resource languages not have many? Texts.
Texts, exactly. And what language is spoken by 45 million people across Central Africa?
Central Africa, Lingala.
Lingala, yes. Have you ever heard of Lingala before?
No, not.
Yeah, 45 million people speak this language, and I've never even heard of it. It's
exactly.
It's really
exactly.
amazing. And
have you ever been to Africa?
I lived in Morocco, so that's northern
Morocco.
Africa. Yes.
Oh.
And I've also traveled to Algeria. I've never been to southern Africa though, which I really want to try that. Do you have any desire to go to Africa?
No, to be honest, I don't really like Africa.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's a very dangerous place.
Okay. What about going to, let's say, the sub-Saharan Africa, where there's lions and giraffes and safaris? Would you ever want to do anything like that?
No, not really.
No, no desire to go.
I would like to be face to face with a lion.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let me see. We've kind of answered that question. It's about text. All right. So I'm going to ask you about these different programs for Google, and I want you to tell me what you think about them if you use them, and what they could improve upon. What would make them better? Okay. So the first one is Google Translate. What do you think about Google Translate?
I think that this is a very good tool and very accurate.
Accurate. Perfect.
Accurate. I use this every day, almost 10 to 20 times.
Do you
in
really?
The same day? Yes.
Give me a couple of examples. I'm curious how you use it.
I use it just to verify that my text is correct.
Okay.
I mean that I write my text in English and translate it to Spanish just to be sure that the message is the one that I want to give.
Right, exactly. Okay, and how often do you find that the message that you want to send is different from what Translate tells you?
Yes, it is. I would say it is frequent.
Frequently. Wow.
Yes, frequently. Maybe from 10 sentences or 10 texts that I input into Translate, maybe 2 are not correct.
Wow. Okay, that's quite a big number.
Yes, this is a big percentage.
Yeah, yes. That's very interesting. I don't use Translate that much, so I rarely know if it's correct or not, honestly.
I don't really. I don't use Translate to understand.
You just use it to correct.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because most of the times I can understand what the people is writing.
The people are writing. Are.
Yes, what the people are writing.
Okay. So what improvements would you make for Google Translate? If you were in charge of Google Translate, what would you fix?
Sometimes it translates very literally.
Okay. So,
And and when it happens, the message is not correct.
okay. So are you talking about idiomatic expressions?
Exactly. For example.
Okay. All right. So they'll give you the exact translation instead of the gist of what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So you would have Google Translate be able to understand the intention of the speech and not the exact words.
And I am quite sure that Google is working on that.
Oh, of course they are. They've got to be. They've got to be. All right, next one, Google Search. Do you use Google Search?
I don't use Google Search.
Really? What do you use?
Google.
So you do use Google for the search engine?
Exactly. My search engine is Google.
Is Google. Okay. So what do you think of the search engine for Google?
I like very much.
Okay. What do you like about it?
It is it is fast. It is also accurate.
Perfect.
And it is easy to use.
Why do you think Google search became so much more popular than Ask Jeeves or Yahoo or something like that? Why is Google known throughout the world as the search engine for most people?
I would say that because it is fast, and also the interface, it is very simple.
It is very simple. That's a very good point.
Is there
any? Oh, go ahead, please.
I have tested. I have tested some time ago. I tested another search engine, but it has a lot of information in the first page.
Okay, which you don't like. You don't like
exactly.
Too much.
I don't like.
Okay,
I don't like to have much information. Yes,
that's a really good point. Okay, is there anything about Google search that you would improve upon?
Not really.
No? Okay. The only thing for me, I don't like the ads that go at the top of Google search, right? They always have advertisements for certain companies talking about what you're searching for.
That's a good point. You are right. What I don't like about Google is this marketing.
Marketing. Explain.
Because
explain.
I am sure that they are gathering all the searches that you execute, and with this profile they send you this marketing information.
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely, yes. Okay, what about Google Mail? Do you use Gmail?
I use Gmail every day also.
And do you like Gmail?
Yes.
All right. Why don't you use something else? Why don't you use Hotmail?
I have an account with Hotmail, but I think that the interface is much better and easy to use with Google.
With Google?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I have several email accounts and Gmail is my favorite by far. What about Google Play? Do you use Google Play?
Google Play, is it the application stores?
Exactly. Yes, it's where you download applications.
Yes, of course. I use Google Play.
And do you have any issues with Google Play?
No issues.
No issues.
I think they have a very good portfolio of applications.
I do too. I have no complaints about Google Play. What about YouTube? Do you watch YouTube videos?
I watch YouTube videos.
All right. So you're a big fan of YouTube. What don't you like about YouTube?
Also these advertisers.
Yes.
The ads, they are very annoying.
They are terrible. And
Yes.
they seem, for me, they seem to be different links and different amounts for each country I go to. So for some countries, it's one 15-second ad. For some countries, like in Hungary, it's two 30-second ads. So to watch a video, I have to sit for 30 seconds or 1 minute. It's
Exactly.
terrible.
That's terrible.
The other problem I have with YouTube, sorry, they're doing some work outside. The other problem I have with YouTube is if I search for a certain video, they show me a million videos of that person or that
Exactly,
thing. Right? I don't
exactly.
want to see all of them. I only want to see one.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
And then I want you to show me other things. But yeah, that's my only issue. What about Google Chat? Do you use Google Chat?
I don't use Google Chat
Yeah, well, I don't either. Why don't you use Google Chat?
because I use WhatsApp. WhatsApp is easier.
I agree. And I think more people tend to use WhatsApp
Exactly.
than Google Chat. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. Now I want to do a writing exercise. I haven't done this with you in a while. So I want you to write your opinion. Okay. You can write it here or you can write it somewhere else and then copy it and share it with me on chat. So just give me one paragraph. Okay.
Okay.
And tell me your opinion, yes or no. The world would be a better place if we all spoke one common language.
Do you want me to write my opinion?
I want you to write your opinion. Take as long as you need and just let me know when you're done.
Okay, let me please open my document. In the meantime, remember me, please, Kyle. What is the? Are you right now in Turkey?
I'm in Hungary.
Hungary.
Budapest, Hungary. Correct.
What is your next move?
I'm going back to Albania next month.
To Albania?
Yes.
Going back. So you have been to Albania.
I have, and they allow 1 year for Americans without a visa. So I'm going to stay there for a while.
I have to say that I asked for my US visa.
Yes.
One month ago.
Okay.
And they give me my appointment until next year, November.
Next year?
Yes, that's crazy, my friend.
Did they give you a reason why so long?
Because they said it seems like here in Mexico, a lot of people, and of course, because of the pandemic.
Right.
During these 2 years, they didn't have any appointment. So right now that all is open, a lot of people is requesting. That's completely terrible.
Oh, do you don't have any reason that you need to go to America right now, though, do you?
Not really, but I would like to go.
Sure.
Because they, in the US, they are applying vaccines to children.
Right.
Because here in Mexico, they don't want to.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're still going to have a class on medicine, by the way. I have that planned. So we'll talk more about that in the future.
Okay. How do you say in your case, the people who has your same nationality?
The people who have the same nationality. So the citizens?
No. For example, in my work, I have colleagues.
Right.
And in Mexico, we have.
So there, you could call them. Hold on 1 second. You could call them countrymen. Okay. So my fellow countrymen.
Okay.
My fellow countrymen is one way to say it.
Okay.
The people in the same country as you.
Okay. And when people has the same nationality like you, as you?
Yes, that's what I mean. That's when you use fellow countrymen.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to write my opinion.
Yeah, take your time. Just let me know when you're done. And it doesn't
Yes,
have to be long, just a paragraph.
just a paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so let's
Yep.
look at grammar first. So I don't
Yes.
think it would be a better place. Is this a complete thought when I say I don't think it would be a better place? Could that be a sentence by itself?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Could language is not an important thing for good living with people from other countries? Could that be a sentence by itself? Is that a complete thought?
Yes, I think
Mhm.
so.
So we have two complete thoughts in one sentence
Yes.
separated by the word because. And so
Yes.
because it's two complete thoughts, we have a comma,
A comma. Okay.
right? All right. The only other one, respect and in general. So in
Okay.
general is extra information, right? We don't need
Yes.
this phrase in general. So we separate
It
in
can
general.
be between, okay, commas.
Respect and in general, good attitudes make the difference to be a better place,
Yes.
right? But everything else looks good. Yeah, I don't think it would be a better place because language is not an important thing for good living with people from other countries. Respect and, in general, good attitudes make the difference to be a better place. Yeah, that works. Very nice. Okay, we'll do more writing exercises in the future as well. I want to continue these writing exercises with you. All right, how difficult is it to learn a new language, in your opinion?
Very difficult.
Yeah,
It's challenging, yes, of course.
explain that to me a little more.
It is, yes, it is difficult because you need to unlearn what you have learned until now. And
Give me an example of that.
grammatics,
Ah,
for
okay.
example,
Yeah,
grammatics is completely different in Spanish than in English,
yeah.
and very Another challenge is to learn new words, vocabulary.
Yeah, I completely understand this. I'm having problems learning Russian myself, so I know.
And what about the pronunciation? Pronunciation is also something.
I haven't even tried with pronunciation with Russian yet. I'm still just learning words. The pronunciation will come later, but yeah, that's very difficult. It's all.
By the way, do you speak another language?
So I have learned 2 years of Spanish, 2 years of French, 2 years of German in school. And then outside of school, I tried to learn Chinese, Russian, Arabic in Morocco. And so, no, I don't speak any other language.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
I understand a little bit for many different languages, but only a little bit. All right, are translations of vocabulary always accurate?
No.
Very rarely.
For example, idioms. Translation are not, sometimes sometimes translate idioms is not accurate.
Translating idioms is not accurate. Exactly.
Accurate.
All right. How important is language to you?
It's very important for communication.
What do you mean by that?
When it is very important, for example, when you work with people from other places, it is very important that you have very good skills in the language to give the correct messages.
Why did you start learning English? What was your first, do you remember what was your first reasons for wanting to learn English?
I would say that my first reason to start studying English was music and movies.
Okay, so you wanted to understand what they were saying in the music and movies.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I started studying English very young.
How old were you?
Well, not very young. I was maybe 12.
Okay, yeah, that's a great age for
it. Exactly, and you know, and that moment when you are in this age, you start to your first contact with music.
Yeah, what bands were you or albums were you listening to that you wanted to understand?
The first one, among others, was this Irish band, U2.
U2, I love U2.
Exactly. The Rolling Stones, for example.
Sure.
The Beatles. My father was a big fan of the Beatles.
Of course, everybody's a fan of the Beatles.
And its music, their music is very easy to understand.
Yes, exactly. What's your
learn English?
What's your favorite Beatles song?
I have a lot of songs, but sometimes, for example, "Here Comes the Sun" is a very good one.
I love that song.
Revolution. When I want to be happy, maybe I play Revolution.
Yes, absolutely. If you could see any one of these English bands live, who would you want to see? Rolling Stones, Beatles, U2?
Again, the question, what is?
If you could get to see one of these bands live in concert.
Okay. I've been in concerts with. I've been in concerts in U2's concerts.
You've been to U2's concert? They have a great concert.
Rolling Stones also.
Yes.
It would be great to see to the Beatles, to the original Beatles, of course.
Absolutely, that would be amazing.
That
Too
would be
bad. It's
amazing.
impossible, but
Yes.
all right. Next question. Would you be a good translator?
That's a good question, but I would say yes.
Why do you think yes?
Because I can understand very well the English.
Okay.
Well, I had to say that I would be a good translator from English to Spanish.
From English to Spanish. Okay.
Exactly.
But not from Spanish to English?
No, no, that's difficult.
When you were began studying English, did you ever have any thoughts or dreams of becoming a translator one day?
Not really.
No. So you never
No,
wanted this as a job. Do you think it would be a good job?
I don't think so, because right now the technology can do it in a much more accurate way.
Yeah, the technology is quite good now.
Yes.
What do you think about this technology? Do you think this is a good thing that soon we can all understand each other with our phones? We don't need to learn new languages?
Yes, I love this technology.
Really?
We call, yes, because this is part of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And to me, the artificial intelligence is a very amazing new technology.
Okay.
It has a lot of possibilities.
But let me ask you in another way. Imagine your son comes to you and says, Dad, I don't need to learn English because when I grow up, I will use my phone. Dad, I don't need to learn math because when I grow up, I will use my phone.
No, of course. I would say before using the technology, you need to understand what the technology is doing.
Okay, so you still
In
think it's
background.
important to learn a language?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
Absolutely.
So it's just a tool. It's not everything when it comes to language. I like that idea. Okay. How important is it to protect indigenous languages?
It is very important.
Yeah.
Yes, to me, it is a good idea to keep all these indigenous languages because they are part of evolution. They are part of culture.
Sure.
Human, no, it is part of these human skills that we should keep in this world that is surrounded by a lot of technology.
Sure. But what if we all spoke Spanish or all spoke English? Would that be better for you?
I don't think so. I
No?
think it is very interesting to have these differences.
Yeah. Okay. What new languages would you like to learn in the future? If you could learn any other languages, what would they be?
I have in my bucket list.
Yes.
I have German.
German. Yeah.
I like how the French sounds.
Sure, absolutely.
Portuguese.
So the good thing about German and French is with English, many of the English words come from German and French languages. And so if you learn English, same with Spanish, if you learn English or Spanish, it's a lot easier to learn French and German. There's a lot of words that sound very similar, right? So I would say that is good in English, or das ist gut in German.
In German, yes.
Right? It's the same thing.
Okay.
The same thing. So you
Yes.
practically already speak German. What about other languages, more difficult languages like Chinese or Russian?
Yes, I would like to Japanese.
Japanese
Yes.
would be cool, but that would be really difficult, I think.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
And I think that writing Japanese or Chinese is very challenging.
Yes, absolutely. Learning new letters and new alphabets must be incredibly difficult. I've learned the Russian alphabet finally, but it took me a long time. It's not easy. All right, what would life be like if all language was translated immediately?
What would I think would be? It would be a good tool.
You think so?
If you yes, if you have to work with people around the world, maybe it's a very good tool.
Sure, for international business,
international business. Yes.
Absolutely, it would be very beneficial.
And also for tourism.
For tourism, yeah, of course.
If you go, for example, to Japan and you cannot understand all the ideas, you can get help from this translator.
So you use Google Translate a lot more than me. Would you feel comfortable if you were in Japan using Google Translate to communicate with people in Japan?
No, I wouldn't feel very comfortable. I prefer to be natural.
Sure. But let's suppose that you could not speak the language at all. Would you want to use this app, the Google Translate?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think is more important, the Google Translate or body language?
Body language.
Body language? Yeah, I think I agree with you.
They say that body language express 90% of your message.
Yeah, it really does. I rely on body language a lot because I can't speak the language anywhere I go, and I'm always using my body to communicate. So yeah, and I only occasionally use Google Translate if I really need help with something, right, with directions or something like that. All right, last question. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, can we please end this class in 2 minutes?
2 minutes, sure. Okay, then I'm going to give you the last thing to do. All right, I want you to be a translator. All right, I want you to watch this video of your president for 2 minutes. Sorry. This is a very important speech. I have no idea what he's saying. So I want you to tell me what he's saying.
Okay, do you want me to tell?
Just start talking as he talks.
That's a very good exercise.
Let's see if it works, okay? Ready?
Ready.
Sí, nos da muchísimo gusto estar aquí.
So what did he say? You have to be talking as he's talking.
Okay. He said, "I'm happy to be here."
Okay. All right. Ready? So you just talk over him. This is how translators.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Edificio, antiguo ayuntamiento, que está lleno de historia.
It is full of history.
Y llevar a cabo esta conferencia de prensa
and to run this conference
en la sede del gobierno de la Ciudad de México,
in the Mexico City,
como lo hacemos en otras entidades federativas. Ahora
like we do in other
la Ciudad
states.
de México.
Now it's
Vamos
of Mexico
a evaluar
City.
Sobre la situación de seguridad
to evaluate
y luego
the security situation.
Vamos a tratar también el tema de salud.
Pero comenzamos Tuesday, we are going to talk about
dándole la palabra a la doctora Claudia Sheinbaum.
We are going to start giving the word to Claudia Sheinbaum.
Dominio público trabaja
de
manera coordinada
she works
con nosotros.
With us.
Ella asiste a las reuniones de seguridad.
She goes to the security
perfect
meetings.
So that's
difficult.
It's difficult, huh?
It's difficult.
I'm curious. I've never tried anything like that before. Really good job. So that's what it's like to be a translator. So very quickly, some pronunciation. We have accurate. Indigenous. First. And source.
Resource.
All right, so those are the only words for pronunciation, and I don't think we learned any other new vocabulary. Do you have any questions about what we talked about today?
No questions, right?
No questions? Okay, we're going to talk about philosophy on Thursday, so it'll be a very interesting class, all right?
Okay.
If you have time, you don't have to, we'll do it in class, but there is an article for next class that you can read for homework. If you want to look at that, see what we're going to talk about, and see if there's any words you want to discuss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Have a great day, Daniel. I'll see you on Thursday.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
day.